Hey everybody, Chris Bober here with Team Bober at Nebraska Realty, and welcome back. Last week I posted a video about that the preliminary property evaluations came out for Douglas County. They also came out for Sarpy County, and counties across the state and across America are coming out right now. So today I'm going to do a video about whether or not are you paying too much property tax. I know it's kind of a lead in there, but we're going to go through the process a little bit and talk about what your preliminary value means, what to do if you disagree with it, right? And how we can help you out. So I'm going to be covering primarily the Douglas County assessor. Now, Douglas County is the most populous county in the state of Nebraska. They have a very defined process of how they do that. I know Sarpy County has a similar process, but they're a little more casual. You can literally just pop into them, but it's going to be kind of the same mentality of doing that. But if you want to go to the Douglas County assessor site, you want to look up your property evaluation so you can see what it is. And I'm going to be using most of my information from this site, and I'll include links in whichever format you're seeing this is going to have some information there too. So go to Douglas County Assessor, and if you want to do preliminary hearing information, you're just going to click on that button, right? So within that, let me say right here, these are only preliminary or estimated values, and they're subject to change until June 1st. June 1st is when they kind of set those things in stone, and it becomes much harder to challenge those. So you have a little time here. So let's talk about how these property values are assessed. Appraised is what they call them. But what they use is a thing called mass appraisal. And they've broken it down into, I think, 17 different districts throughout Douglas County. And they track the sales data from last year, and then they apply that sales data to the entire area. And they're going to go through on a neighborhood by neighborhood basis because, out here in Elkhorn, my taxes actually went down in Indian Creek because I have a $500,000 existing home. That's a tough market, but all around me is new construction. That value keeps going up. So they will go neighborhood by neighborhood, but what's going on in your area is going to be of a bigger influence than anything. So it might be unfair for some people out here in Valley who have a $150,000 house to be compared to the market for these huge houses on Blue Water. That's an example. Sarpy County has some big booming areas that are included with old areas. So that's how they do it. That's why sometimes they come up and they're wrong. But when you go to the assessor site, the thing to remember here is if you want to set a hearing, here's the number. It's 402-444-6734. And you're basically going to call them up and say, I'd like to have a meeting with an appraiser. It's actually pretty easy. They put you on the schedule, and you go in there, and you literally go back and sit at their desk. Oh, we'll go through that just a little bit more, but you have from now until February 3rd to call and get that meeting. After that, they're not going to take any more appointments, and then you have until the end of the month, February to March, to actually, if you don't get an appointment, you can send your protest in. Obviously, that's a lot harder to get things changed if you're going to send it by mail versus sitting down with someone. So February 3rd, they're going to stop taking appointments, and they're going to go from there. You have this is what you're going to do if you're going to send it in. I'm not going to talk about that too much, but you basically have until March 2nd of 2020 to have everything into them if you're going to be sending that stuff in. Then they'll come back on June 1st, and they'll come out with the final valuations for next year. And these property taxes in Nebraska, we pay taxes in arrears. So it says 2020 on there, but you'll start paying those taxes next year. So this is really your 2021 payments coming out. All right, so when you go down to the meeting, you're going to go down to Farnham Street. You're going to go in the building. Here's kind of how you do it. It's pretty easy. They'll call you up. You're going to actually go back and sit at their desk. They're going to talk about why they have the valuation they have, and they're going to ask you information about the property, right? And they're going to sit down and it's kind of a conversation. And they're not going to make a determination at that point, but they're going to gather the information so they can go and see if they want to make an adjustment. And you won't even know about that until June 1st when they actually come and post the final values, right? So when you go down there, these are the things to bring. You can bring an appraisal, or actually you can bring a broker price opinion, which is what someone like myself can provide. They changed the law to allow you to do that and consider it a professional document. Appraisals are the best thing to get, but they cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. A price opinion is going to be way more economical for you to do. You want to bring their comparable property so you can see how your property compares. If you've had a closing, if you've recently purchased or sold that house, you want to be able to show them what that price was, because that helps with what the market is. And sometimes you go in there, you want to talk about your condition, right? Does it have a new roof? Does it have damage? Whatever it might be, the condition is a big thing when it comes to evaluating property. So this is the form that they give you. If I provide a price opinion, I provide a letter and a much more detailed version of this to take in there for them. If you're going to do it on your own, you're going to kind of fill this out and take it in there on your own. So some other information, of course, the change notice will be mailed out to you. Actually, I take it back. They're going to send you a notice. So Douglas County does do that now. When you go in there, you want to provide information, right? They don't care about the reason it's gone up. It's not fair, whatever it is. They only look at the facts. Also, just so you know, that the adjustment will not be made while you're there. And they can only value a property based upon the information they have. So what you're trying to do is, if you think it's wrong, provide them with additional information, and then they'll evaluate that from there. Not that it's wrong, they might not just have enough of the information. Once you get to June 1st, this becomes much more difficult because then you have to go and appeal it through the Board of Equalization. That is a much harder process because then you're taking something that's being set already and getting them to change it rather than changing it before it gets set. Okay, so here's how we can help. At Team Bober, we do provide services to help people challenge. Let me take you through that process. First of all, you're of course going to call us. We're going to have a conversation and we're going to gather information, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to do our own preliminary property valuation. This is kind of a high level thing. We're going to search your neighborhood and comparable sales. Then what we're going to do is call you back and we're going to tell you whether or not we think you have a leg to stand on when it comes to challenging. There's several factors in this comparable sales, condition of your property, other things that go on in the neighborhood. We don't want to send you on a path if you're not going to have a chance to be successful. We're going to help you determine whether or not you should appeal your property's value, right? That's kind of say, do you want to go down this path or not? We're going to give you our evidence and go from there. And then if you do want to do that, you hire us to put together a broker price opinion. And from there, we will provide that price opinion and letter, and then we'll coach you before you go to the hearing to tell you kind of what to say. So that's a service we do provide for people. Once you come to here, you hire us to go ahead and do that. Now, a couple of reminders that you want to keep in mind when you go through this. Number one is property values have gone up. So don't be surprised when your taxes go up, right? Again, your taxes aren't going up, it's your valuations going up. So it's normal in this market for property taxes to go up because the value is going up. Also, the assessor doesn't care about fairness, right? We had one person who called and his tax assessment went up $50,000 this year. And he thought that was just too high. I'm like, well, actually it's pretty fair because the last couple of years you've really been paying less taxes than you should. So that is not a reason to challenge us as far how much it went from last year. They want to check for accuracy, the number of bedrooms, square footage, things like that. Sometimes they get it wrong, okay? That's why you want to go in there too. Sometimes they'll ask you, well, they'll ask you what you'd sell your house for. Don't ask that. That doesn't matter. Don't answer that question. Just try to give them evidence. Should be less about emotion and more about facts. Be truthful. When you go in there, I'm not saying you're testifying in front of a grand jury, but if you go in there and your basement's finished and you don't reveal that to them, if they find out, I guess I'm not sure what can happen to you, but it's not going to help you out. So you want to be 100% honest as much as you can. They won't listen to reason, only facts. And the last thing is, be careful. They actually could raise your taxes. One of my buddies who called me, we sold their house. They said, hey, listen, it went up to X amount. Is it worth doing? I actually said, no, it's very fairly assessed at this point. And they can make an argument to say that it's actually should be valued higher. I've known people who've gone to the assessor, challenged it, and they actually raised their valuations. So they don't have to, they're not on your side. They're trying to make money here, right? They're trying to pay for these municipalities within the county. So don't be surprised if you don't get a lot of sympathy from them. They have to find a way to make money. It's how our government works. So if you have any questions about this, of course, you can contact us, 312-5076, Chris at NebraskaRealty.com. TeamBober.com is where we have all of our information, of course, our contact information too. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a little bit about this. And if you just need more information, call, text, or email me personally, and I would love to help you out. So have a great day.